Hello, everyone. Happy 11/11. I hope that you're having a blessed day. And welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us. Mm-hmm. And hello, everyone. I see that we already have a bunch of hellos. And so good morning, hello, and good afternoon, good evening. And it's probably a little too early for those who are on the other side of the planet, so I won't say a good morning to you on the other tomorrow. So I don't think we have any Australians here with us today. I love you too, Eloise. My baby's watching. So sweet. I can't wait, Eloise, till you come. She's coming. Not in a couple weeks, Eloise? About a week and a half. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. We get to hang out again.
Oh, yay. School's out for summer.
That's right.
Summer. Yep. And they're gonna be going camping, and it's it's Sierra's birthday. And so they're gonna stop here, and we're gonna have a big birthday party because Ellen had a birthday, so she turned 8, and Bodie, my grandson, he had a birthday and he turned 6. So, and now Sierra's birthday, so we're gonna have a triple birthday.
Oh, big party! Love that.
And Sierra, I think, oh my God, how old are you? I totally forgot. My oldest baby, I think. Oh my God, I think she's 34.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I feel like I'm 34. It just doesn't make sense.
The math, after a while, the math doesn't work out. It's like,
the math just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Hi, T-Barb, Tracy, and everybody. Hello. Oh, my son graduated. Oh, Mama Bear's son. Wow.
Congratulations, Mama Bear, your son.
I saw those pictures. Looked fun.
Yay.
Caps and gowns.
Yeah, so time keeps moving, but I feel like I'm,
Well, I'm definitely not my current age. I feel way younger all the time.
I don't think anybody is. Kevin, do you feel that too? It's like I don't feel like I feel like we hit this certain age and we kind of in our minds we stay there, and then.
I remember being told. I mean, I knew this, and people confirmed it or validated that when I was a child, I was waiting to kind of get to my age, if that makes sense, where it was like I just didn't feel like I was as old as I should have been by number. And so when I turned 25, something happened where it was like I finally caught up to the age that I felt like I recognized. And then from that point, although I changed physically, I just feel like that's where I stayed. I don't know. It was a transition, and
that sounds similar to me because when I was younger, they always said I was an old soul, but not like super, super old, just I kind of knew stuff, Yeah. And I always felt a little bit older than I looked because I looked super, super younger than I was forever. And then it finally leveled out. And I'm with you on that, on the feeling and the physicality of it, because I didn't look my age for a long time. And then I did. And I think there was just kind of this balance that kind of happened. And I don't know what age that is exactly, but I know what you're talking about.
I was in my 40s when I was still being carded in my 40s, my mid 40s.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like overnight, it changed.
With me, the gray jacked me up. Once the gray started kicking in, everything shifted for me. So, but I was able to get away with quite a bit for a while. So,
yeah, pretty fun. Anyways, Eloise says, "I'm not 34. I'm 8." Yes, your mom is turning 34, though, baby.
There you go. There you go.
I think. She was born in 88. You guys do the math.
All right.
Anyway. All right. So welcome, everyone. And if you're new here, We love you. This is a great community to hang out in.
Mm-hmm.
And we are just open to questions today. Current topics. Oh,
Oh, I love that.
That's so cute.
We're very confused because it says Sierra, but it's actually Ellen, who is not 34, but she is 8. So we're doing current topics. So any questions you want to throw up there, and we star them, and we'll get to them. And we are coming off the weekend. Tomorrow we're back into, and I don't know, Kevin, did you watch? Were you able? Do you guys watch our stuff here? Like, did you?
Yeah. I watch bits and pieces of it. I find I have to do it in small bits because I'm like yelling through the computer or the TV or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, absolutely.
And so we're coming off that, and I know we talked a little bit about it on Friday of how it kind of really triggered us a little bit. Like we had emotionally, you kind of do some healing and or whatever, and you separate yourself from it, and then all of a sudden it's back in your face, and you can't separate from it. So I have to admit, I was teary. I was teary.
I was
some of the stuff coming through, and to hear some of the personal experiences from their point of view, and I'm just thinking, she could totally be my daughter, like, and what is happening, and from the police officer and stuff like that, and anyways, just the whole thing is just, it was sad, but it needed. We need to look at this again because this can never happen again. Right. So, so tomorrow we start again on it. Oh, Susie, Kevin lives in Canada.
Mm-hmm. We're neighbors.
I
mean, I think globally, like the ripple effect of it, even just energetically, not even knowing the information, there's impact. I mean, there just has to be, there just is. I think that's the way it works. We're all affected by the energy of it. It's the thing that keeps coming up for me. I'm such a by nature, I go back to that place of being fair. And when things are just not fair, regardless of all the beliefs and all of that's backing it up, it's just like to get justice when it's the timeline that it keeps presenting, meaning like it's so bloody long. That's the frustration for me, where it's just like, oh, how can we, how can it be this way?
Especially rewatching it. It's like rewatching it, you're going, why has it taken this long? All this is, it's evidential. It's right here in front of everybody's face. And we still have to go through so much to get to everything. It's frustrating. And, it's tough.
Yeah. But it's so true. I feel the globe is smaller and smaller as far as that connection, Kevin. The ripple effect when things happen around the globe. We're just, like you said, we're neighbors, and I feel like it's getting smaller and smaller.
Oh, I'll be back. Kitty emergency. Hold on.
Wow, kitty emergency. I can't wait to hear about this kitty emergency. So
maybe out of food. I don't know.
Charlie got this caught up around her head.
Oh, that was an emergency. Bags. I don't know why they like those bags.
God.
Anyways, happy Pride too. So we're celebrating Pride Month, and so there we go. We got some rainbow hearts there, and I have my little doodad here, and yesterday we had that event happen where they arrested a whole, I don't know if you heard about this, Kevin, but there was a U-Haul truck full of white supremacist men, all in their gear, and they had a bunch of, like smoke grenades and all this stuff to create riots within the Pride Parade in Washington, D.C. And so they stopped that U-Haul van and literally arrested them all. They were all, and it's all over Twitter, and you can watch the video of them being arrested and so forth. So they stopped this. Bodhi, Bodhi just wrote, my grandkids are here today, guys.
Hi, Bodhi.
Hi, Bodhi.
Nice to see you, meet you.
So they were able to stop that violent action that they were going to try to break into the Pride Parade. And so we did read on this earlier, I feel like in Scott's, and I feel like on a large scale, I feel like they're stopping these cells. I feel like, these big groups, I feel like they're what we all kind of got was that these little cells of white supremacists, they Bodhi says hi. Oh, Bodhi says hi.
Oh.
Okay.
Bodhi. Bodhi's an old soul.
He's an old soul. It's okay. Bodhi says hi. Okay. I love my babies.
They're the best.
But I do feel that it is creating. I do feel there's some lone wolves out there that will. So I just, for our Pride community, be praying and for safety and surrounding them with bubbles of safety and stuff, because I feel like it's just introducing the hate is there, but it's introducing that take action on with your hate.
I think everybody is on high alert. I don't know if I was with you, Debbie, or if I was with Denise, but I remember reading on that kind of stuff too. Somebody asked if the Pride celebrations would have any kind of violence or interruption, and we all came to the conclusion, wherever I was, that there would be incidents, there'd be attempts to undermine things, but I think they are really keeping an eye on everything. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just know that, living here in Colorado Springs anyway, it's a little bit more, I'm coming from San Diego where you're just like, oh, you can be whoever you want. To here is a little, it's a little bit more challenging. And then this just adds that other layer of awareness. And I try not to step into fear because
I was thinking that
I don't want to come from that space, but
and that's what they want. They want that.
They want you to be in fear.
It's like, no. So,
yeah.
So we're gonna be praying for our Pride family. All right. So we did have a couple questions come in. Thank you for that. I wanted to take a look at this up here. So what a cute icon picture. I think what needs to happen is this needs to be put in the reverse publicly by saying, would this seem like a riot or an insurrection if these were okay?
Well, there's always that perspective for sure. And that's something I'm guilty of. When things happen, I have a tendency, I am a person of color. So when things go down, I often insert myself in the situation and think, well, what if it was this group or that group or my group, and things are different sometimes, but that's another one of those things. If I think too hard about it, I make myself a little crazy. So there's just it's back to the injustice thing. Just across the board, you want everybody to be able to have their say, but at the same time, you want everybody to be safe. And I don't know why everybody's so concerned about what other people are doing. Sometimes, who cares? It's your business. It's your life. If you're not harming anyone in doing so,
well, it's the opposite of who we are by nature when we see that aspect of us, and we're not completely separate from it. And some of us would never in a trillion years ever be like on that end of it. And what I'm trying to say is like it's just such we can't understand it being in the self-expression, and someone individually and then collectively being in their self-expression. Like the recipe is celebration and acceptance by nature as human beings. It's just love in that. And for some, they've stepped away from that. And I always try to, Debbie, I do that too. I go to that fearful place because it impacts me potentially. And as a collective, it impacts me. So that's the not separate part, but I try to really, and it's hard and I struggle with it as an empath, stepping beyond that fear, because then I feel that adds actually the opposite of what I want the outcome to be. And so that really takes something, but it's like, it just, and as a child, I remember that being aware of differences, and I credit my parents so like 100% for teaching us, like when there were, when we noticed differences in other people, those were the people that my parents said, and I don't even know if they said it in the direct languaging of it. They just did it, I think, by demonstration. And then just in the roundabout conversations, that those were the people that we needed to befriend and be closer to and give them the love when they were, not even getting into the details of their story. I identified that as a child. So when, that's the innocence, you know what I mean? And so that I always look at the younger generation in this, because there are some people, even though I hold them powerful in the ability to hopefully and potentially change, they might not in this lifetime. Exactly.
The bug.
Yeah, exactly. But the cat is actually showing us what some people do. They just turn around and they,
Luna has something to say by doing that. Absolutely.
Yes.
That was a statement.
It was a total statement, so where we attach our energy to and is so important, Oh,
yes. And Constance says transmutation of fear is hard. It truly is. Yeah. And Elwin says, sorry, I can't remember how to write says. So Elwin, it's SAYS. So say SAY and then S at the end of that.
No worries.
We gotcha.
We understood.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how to write too at another time. I love it though. At least you're on here chit-chatting.
I know, loving your family participation today. What is happening? This is great. Yeah.
Incredible.
Okay. So let us step into some of these questions. All right, Tina, here we go. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
And welcome. And if you're, again, I saw a lot of people pop in. Welcome. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in. We're doing current topics. So go ahead and throw those in. My hair always gets caught right here. Do you have that problem where your hair gets caught or anything gets caught?
My hair's too short. That does not happen with me. Back in the day, sure, but no, not now.
So right in there. See that?
Yeah.
Little...
Oh, I can totally see how that could happen. Yeah.
All right. Okay. What was the dynamic between Amber Heard and her lawyers? Did her lawyers like and believe her? Oh, okay. So we're going to Amber. All right. What was their dynamic?
Hi, Sheila. Sheila's here.
Oh, hi, Sheila.
Angel Feather.
Hello.
Did you cut your hair, Kevin?
I think we were talking about you.
Oh, me. So okay, everybody. I didn't cut my hair. I have been straightening it. It just. I always have to explain this. It's longer on the front end than the back end, but I take the time to straighten it, and so it lasts longer. So that what you're seeing is a straightened hair, not cut.
Do both of you cut your own hair?
Do I?
I have. During the pandemic, I did.
No.
Do you cut? You don't cut your own hair, Kevin?
I mean, I have. I tend not to.
Because I know you cut. That's what you do, Kevin. I didn't know if you cut your own though.
No.
Oh, I didn't know that's what you do.
I'm still part-time. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I may have to come next door.
I would love to have you cut my hair one day.
I know. I should go on tour.
Right? Totally. Kevin, the cutting medium.
Yeah, totally.
Shay Kitty says my last haircut was November 2019.
Oh wow.
Yeah, since COVID, I haven't gone anywhere. I cut it myself. It's easy.
Oh, see, now I was doing my own through COVID, and then I thought, I finally went to get it done, and they did a horrible job. I did so much better on my own.
Right?
And so you can tell, it's like, what in the world did they do? Anyway.
Well, whatever you got going on, it looks good.
Thank you. Meridian is the health. I have all the stuff. Okay. Squirrel, I am back.
Yeah, totally.
Same. We're all.
I think we all went there.
Sorry, Sunday 11/11 family.
Oh, here we go, apologizing again. Every time.
Woo. Jean Dorsey is a retired hairdresser.
Nice.
Thank you for making the world beautiful, Jean.
Mm-hmm.
Right. One head at a time.
Yeah. Making people feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh gosh, Kevin, that would be a hard job for an empath. But a lot of empaths are hair cutters.
Mm-hmm.
There's psychologists, you know what I mean?
Counselors,
and hair.
I studied psychology, so it was helpful. Business and then psychology, so it was like a perfect combo. And then going into hair.
For an empath. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel a connection actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sensing a connection at all. Like, I don't even know how this.
I'm with you on that because I threw the deck of character and my little story makes no sense. There's a distinct separation from a relationship with her is what I'm getting here. So go ahead with what you were saying.
Oh, go ahead. I just feel it was a means to an end there.
Mm-hmm. I get that, the crash cart and it's the monitor and it's like the flat line. It kept flatlining and then it was like, the paddles would come out and it would temporarily kind of flare things up or something, is what they're showing me. And then it would like go back to the flat line. So the connection, I'm trying to feel into it. And it's like, I'm like, hello.
Yeah, right.
Is there anything in there? What's going on?
Same.
It's curious to me.
I mean, I can throw up what I have.
Yeah, show us what you got on your card.
I use the deck of character. I'll start out with this one. I got poop. I don't really think that I don't think they believed a lot about what she was saying.
They couldn't give a poop.
I got maze. I think it was too convoluted for them to really get a good grasp. I think I almost feel like she had a tendency she would get them on board with some story on one direction and then do another shift on them. And they didn't know how to gather it all up, really. I got Inferno and Fuel. So, I think she was just angry all the time and really a lot of vindictiveness and manipulation and a lot of off the cuff statements from one time to the next. I can almost see them all sitting down one day and maybe trying to really sort things out together as a team. And they think they have it, that, they think they might have something to kind of hang on to. And then the next time they meet, she's like, well, everything I said, here's something else. It wasn't quite like that. Or because, liars have a tendency to not be able to hold on to their story. Mm-hmm. When you're telling the truth, you're telling the truth. But if you're a compulsive liar or you're a manipulator like that, it's hard to keep your story straight. And I think that might have been what they ran into. I got war. We're talking, the war zone. I got waterfall and I got gift. And I think that this is a lot of her maybe saying things that she thought they wanted to hear on occasion. But the dynamic's weird. And those are all the cards I have. I could completely keep throwing more cards, but I'm getting confused. So I don't know. So I'm going to stop and let you all talk.
Meridia says she could benefit from therapy or a visit to her hairdresser.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that was questionable. I get foundation wise, there wasn't trust. And so right out of the gate, it was like, yeah, we're taking this on. But it didn't feel like trustworthy on either end. However, I feel like there was as I tapped more into her energy, it was like, I think she was the one with the paddles where she would, she knew it was flatlining and then she would like do the paddles to kind of like almost like plant the seeds or
rev it up again.
Breadcrumb. Yeah. And like, okay, we're going to drop this over here. And it's like, we're going to kind of go in this direction. So it just felt like a kind of like, I don't know, like a mouse in a maze, like kind of just not knowing where. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So just like really unpredictable and just not a good feeling either way. So it was like at the end of it, it was like this like breaking barrier of, oh my God, I'm so glad this is over. That we can.
Oh my gosh. And I already put my cards up at the bottom of my deck. I got lounge chair. And I think that might be what that is. That I think when it was done, they were like, thank God.
Like, yes.
Right. Yeah.
Like almost good riddance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And just to throw in my cards over here, and they showed up, you have the Eight of Pentacles and the Strength. It looked like they were the power team for her and the right team for her. That's how they presented. But, they weren't going to get the judgment because she was shady. And so they weren't going to get that. Even though they brought the team, apparently, she wasn't telling the whole truth. So you have I don't know. So the end result, 8 of Cups, leaving it behind, they walking away. But there's no, I don't, as far as that connection, 0.
Agreed.
And they knew it. They knew that she wasn't telling the whole truth is the deal, which is, I don't know. They probably, both sides. I don't know much.
With attorneys, they have a job to do. So I'm sure they did the job.
They said we could do the job.
Let's do this.
But it just ended up that,
she's a piece of work.
Yeah. Guess oh gosh.
There's someone in here named lawyer, and he or she is like, right.
Oh. Perfect.
I don't know, but I just get the money. So hey.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, but a lawyer had in our chat earlier had said it's just sad that it had to be aired in front of their whole life, and that's horrible. And all right, so here we go. Thank you, Tina, for that. Francesca, hello, welcome,
Francesca.
And I forgot to say at the beginning, if you guys have prayer requests, we do look at those at the end. So please post those and we star them and put them all together at the end. Okay. When the January 6th committee concludes, will the Senate be able to pass a good voting rights bill? So separating those two out. I don't know why I'm getting okay. I just have to say what I'm getting, right?
Just say it.
Just say it. I'm not seeing some. I'm seeing, individual places working on, in their individual states and so forth. Making sure. Because you have some states who are trying to make sure that no one has a right to vote, or certain people don't have a right to vote, and then you have other who are working on making it into law or whatever, that everyone has a right to vote, and to make it easy as possible, to make it safe, to make it, all those. So you have individual things going on all over the place, but as far as like coming down from the federal government, like the whole government overseeing everything, I'm not seeing. Maybe some big changes by 2024 is where I'm seeing maybe something in that law. This is so out of my wheelhouse here, but I'm hearing 2024 as far as an umbrella type of thing, but I do see these other little things going on in individual states, whether it's trying to take more rights away or trying to solidify the right. You guys, anything?
Kevin, you got your stuff to go?
I'm just trying to understand it. I'm not feeling a connection between the two.
No, there is no.
Okay. So I'm clear in that. Okay. I'm like,
yeah, there's.
Got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll just say what. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I pulled a few cards on it, and what Spirit's really coming through, it's like there were, and I don't know if this is going to answer it. This is out of my wheelhouse as well in this specific question, but it's like what we're being reminded of is the here and now, and not so far of like looking into the future of it. I don't know, is the feeling that I get, and it's like people being able to recognize the choice that they have currently, and that creates the movement versus like almost like taking a deep breath and holding it in and then waiting for like this extended period of time. The uncertainty of that feels really like unsettling. So yeah, like just I feel like the intention and the strength is specific to right now. And I don't even know fully what that means, because that sounded wordy as I was saying it, but that's what Spirit was bringing me to. So yeah. Maybe Lisa's cards will clarify that. I did pull the happiness card, though.
Okay.
I did pull the happiness card.
We are moving in that direction. I truly believe.
Yeah. Yes. So yes, but it's like, each and every one of us and our role in it currently and in this present moment, that creates the outcome versus like almost like, I don't know if that's, and maybe that's the detachment in the way that I'm understanding that. But yeah, hopefully Lisa will. Yeah, it's like embrace the moment. Embrace the moment.
Embrace your empowerment right now.
And Spirit keeps doing this to me. It's like, I don't know, we are only sometimes seeing part of it or through such a filtered lens that we have the opportunity to really expand in that individually.
Yeah. I totally get that, because I feel like it's going to get a little worse before it gets better. We need to.
Yeah.
That's what my cards are saying.
In our, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lisa. Show us your horrible cards.
Here we go. Buckle up, guys. Okay, so here's what I've got. Now I did get. This is the struggle. I got the 5 of Wands, and I see that as it getting worse before it gets better. And I don't think it's so much. I agree with a lot of what Kevin just said. It's not so much. It's not so much paying so close attention to the end game. It's the process. There's something about the process and paying attention to what's happening right now, because that's important. I got the 7 of Cups. I know we say that's illusion delusion sometimes, but in this case, I'm seeing this as so many options, so many choices, and so I know I always say this, so many layers. It's not so. This is so not cut and dry with any of the new stuff that we want to have happen. There are other things that have to be put in place prior to moving forward to the next thing. It's like I feel like we're kind of jumping the gun a little bit. We're seeing things are starting to get resolved a little bit. So we want these other things to happen. It's like, no, we kind of have to clean up our mess first before we get there.
Exactly.
So I got the Page of Swords, and that's really being analytical about it. We have to be smart. We have to work smarter, not harder, is what I'm feeling. And then I got the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles. This is like my happy cards. I do see a softer, because, we're empaths. We like the soft stuff. So I do see a softer side to putting protocols in place and policies in place that make more sense for everybody across the board. You can't please everybody. Come on, guys. So we have to be realistic here. We're not going to have this ultimate thing that's been generated that's going to just make everybody happy. That's not going to happen. But there are good things coming. And then I got the 2 of Wands, and I got the King of Pentacles, and I think that's good too. So good things ahead, and there's those cards. Good things ahead, but this is what's going on.
Yeah. That's it. Like Spirit was about having the crystal clear intention. And then with all of the distraction and still the work to be done, it's like the faith or really maintaining that unwavering faith in it is really challenging. So it's like, that's the support from Spirit in this. And sometimes we can get so caught up in the end result that we lose that faith.
Yes.
We've all been there. So yeah, it's really.
And the best part of all this is we're all paying attention.
Yeah.
We used to not pay attention. We're really paying attention now.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Love it.
Words here, and the truth is being more and more of the truth behind all the layers, and there are layers. So it makes sense that you said you put layers, because there are. You have the people with the money behind, with the dark money going, okay, I'm paying you. So you have all that type of cheating going on in the voter and suppressing voters here in this gerrymandering. There's so many layers to this whole thing. But as this is revealed, truth, you can't backpedal when the truth has been shown. You can't backpedal on truth. Okay.
Right.
So we are moving into, and we're gonna battle. We're going in. We're going in, and we're going to be taking care of this. You have the King of Wands and the Page of Swords there. So taking action, and towards. But again, I'm seeing it. We're really going to start seeing, because again, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I don't know why I got 2024, but I'm sure we're going to revisit this again and this energy again. But right now, that's where the energy is flowing, that we'll see some significant changes in that. People want to know that their vote, that they can vote safely and that their vote counts. So let's make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And like Kevin says, it starts with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Good question.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Celtic Seer.
Hi, Celtic Seer. And everyone.
All right.
So everybody we missed.
So here's a mediumship question. And what does Patton have to say about what's going on in the country? And does he have any messages for us? Patton. General Patton.
Wow. Okay.
General Patton. I'm going to pull his picture up just so we can all take a look at it.
Was he general? I mean, I'm getting the salute. Duh, Kevin. I'm like, why is he saluting? Okay, I'm like this, but I'm like, General, I didn't put two together.
Oh, yeah. You're like, you saw him coming right away. He's saluting.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, he's quite the. Let's pull him up here. There he is.
General Patton.
General Patton.
Interesting.
That's funny for Rita's mirror.
What did she say?
He just said he didn't look like George C. Scott. Remember George C. Scott played Patton in
yeah, no, he does not. Does not look like him.
That's funny.
Okay.
All right.
It's funny because I feel
like I'm getting something way off base, but go ahead.
He kind of has a sarcastic sense of humor coming in here, and but when he asked something of you, he expected it of you. I mean, like a strong arm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to be his child. I'd be terrified. Even though he was probably had that fun, sarcastic side, I definitely wouldn't want to be on the bad side. You know what I mean? I'd be kind of scared of that strictness, but he is coming in with a little bit of a sarcastic feel to him, but I also wouldn't want to be. I would have been terrified of him because of his strong arm rule type of thing.
I mean, I'm not getting any political correctness out of him.
Oh yeah, no.
Like he's like he's got shit to say.
Yeah, no,
I'm just kind of dabbling with the mediumship stuff, but I feel like a lot of what I'm getting is it's not so much the politics of it. What I'm picking up is his thoughts on the Ukraine-Russian thing. I'm not getting our country. I'm getting the war, because that's kind of his thing.
Oh, okay. That's what he's looking at right now.
Yeah. So I think it's I think he's there's a lot of carelessness. He's feeling carelessness. Like what are you all doing?
Yeah. Wow.
There's no rhyme or reason, and there's no real plan, and there's no, it's too willy-nilly. It doesn't fit his blueprint of initiating, nor being the leader of any sort of aggressive pushing forward into somebody else's boundaries. It's not cool. I just don't think he's I mean, he's not happy about that at all. But anyway, go ahead, because I feel like I'm wandering off into something else here.
Well, he definitely was a soldier, through and through, he said. As far, I'm asking him about as far as what's happening in our country right now, with all the January 6th and all the other things like that. And he said, he was so black and white, like as far as making decisions, good, bad, wrong, right, like that. It's funny because he's like, I'm not really the one to ask about what I would do. I would just crush him. You know what I mean? Just crush it. If it starts to you like this, you crush them before they get any voice to it. So I just feel like he's like, I would, I'm coming from that. If the fire starts, you crush it out before it starts. And so I feel like a little bit what you're saying too, Lisa, is that he thinks that we're being weak when we address the issues in our country.
I have a card to support what you just said. I don't know why, but I feel like doing the ET cards on this one.
Oh, good.
Random. I got fear will be your downfall.
Yeah. See. Yeah. So, crush the fires, and so that's kind of where he would be at with it. And he said he does like behind the scenes, he says, however, there are some strategic things being put in place that he does like. He likes that there's actually strategy going on behind the scenes that we don't see. So thank you for that, for letting us know that. So he says he does like that they are actually following a plan, and there's some strategy going on behind the scenes.
Interesting.
Kevin,
I'm trying to grasp it. He showed me a lot of visuals, and so as his energy first came in, I didn't see him. I just saw the salute, and then before I still don't really see him. Although you showed the picture, I saw a peacock come forward, and the peacock like presented its like feathers, and it was like it was so great because I said, what is this all about? And it was about, he was talking about raising your standard. So there was this energy towards like raising our standard. And he really, the energy for him and what I'm feeling is his perspective is so like global. And so how he was honed in on the energy of when you were talking, Debbie, about being very black and white, he was, and the expansiveness of where he sees it now, it's like, he showed me all these hands reaching out. So it was like in gesture of like, maybe times where they didn't take the help or ask for the help, there was that. So his focus has really changed. And so that's the energy that it brings on, this like new wisdom and this new kind of like, it comes from love. It does come from love, he says. And in that will create the change. And so the way he looks at, it's like he makes me feel like he doesn't, and this isn't to diminish or diminish anything. But his perspective of just being so narrow in his outlook of things, he's looking more globally for the collective versus just being so, narrow in his vision. Although he was a very his intellect felt very advanced. He just feels like, and he's showing me it's what's with the pearl, the oyster. So it's like this closed oyster, and now it's like slowly opening, and there's this radiant pearl in it. So it's like this, that's the direction that we're going. And it's like these little cracks. It's like he keeps showing me this building, and it feels like it's very old. It feels wartime. And it's like all of these cracks in this building. And to me, it's like a metaphor of what we're seeing now. And it's like all of these cracks have started to crumble, and in some they've completely been flattened, and we're now going to be the rebuild with the light and the movement of this new energy and new ways that will rebuild. So the house of cards have fallen, but we will start to rebuild, is what he's saying. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I was getting the chills with that one.
Yeah,
absolutely. And
he's saying something's missing for sure. Like there's a point here that we're all overlooking with this. Like there's this underlying something or another, like a missing puzzle piece almost. Because which kind of goes back with what I feel with he's so strategic, that there's something he's so structured, but there's an underlying understanding that he has, and that he had when he was here, that we are all missing. I think there's something what am I trying to say? I'm like out there, guys. I don't know what's going on. I feel like there's really something. There is some really specific point to all of this, and it might be the love. It might be the unity. It might be the hands that you're talking about. There's something with that, which is so contradictory to the personality that he kind of presents himself as being. That there's a greater good that is like over the hill, beyond getting through all this that's going on. And I think that takes me away from what I originally said about just a battle sense that brings us back to there's something genuine and there's something to pay attention to with that, and I can't put my finger on it. But I'm like excited about it. I don't know what that means, but
so when you talk about that, Lisa, if I can interject here, I see him. He's showing me, and he was showing me how, the old mindset of when there's a bug in the house, you crush the bug. Kill the bug, so you get rid of that bug. To coming to some sort of enlightenment where you don't crush the bug anymore. You pick the bug up and take it out to and put it in its own environment and put it outside and save it. So you don't just crush it and think that's done, because crushing it doesn't
solve the issue.
Solve any issue. In this way, you're still, because he's showing the connection. We are all connected, right? And so, for deeper taking in that understanding, even though this is the worst bug ever and it's horrible and it's poisonous or whatever the bug is, taking that time to take it and put it where it belongs, like whatever. Using that scenario, I'm thinking he's like, we're connected. You don't just go in and crush things because
I'm totally picking up on something after you said that.
Okay.
I feel like, we are all totally, we are a whole, I mean, I don't know from what generation it began, but we're all about that instant gratification on things. It's like, this is happening. We need to stop it. Let's happen. Like the bug. This is the bug. Get rid of it. Get it out of here. We don't invest enough. We don't think long-term enough. We're not patient enough. We all, it's the age of Twitter and Facebook, and you get your 3-minute video or YouTube or whatever and do your thing and move on. We don't take the time to put into something what needs to be put into it to get a really good result out of it. And the quick knee-jerk reaction on things isn't the way to go, is I guess what I'm trying to say here. And it's not about us all the time. That bug that you killed can probably do wonderful things out there. The bug is here for a reason, It's that kind of stuff. Like, let the bug go do what the bug has to do. But
we're all connected. There's connection.
But we're thinking this bug is in my space and screw this bug.
Squish it.
Yeah.
It's wreaking havoc in my house. Squish it.
Right.
So anyways, I hope that and
I don't know. I need to quit talking. I don't know what's going on.
No, it's perfect.
No, it was right.
That's
spot on.
Crazy.
And I do love how he, I think Meridia said this about how we all were connecting into different parts of him too, to bring. So thank you.
Yeah, great question.
For that. And thank you, Patton, for coming in. And Cindy says maybe what we're missing is we have lost the United States. Yeah. I think it's not that we lost that. It's kind of always been brewing. It's just in our face right now that how much we're not united. It's just in our face. All right. I know Ian says we have 50 countries, not 50 states. That's what it feels like. Yeah. So that bug has as much right to walk the earth as all life is sacred. We're all connected. Exactly. We understand that process. And I feel like he wanted to show that he's gone through that process too, where he would just be, squash that, put that fire out, boom, boom, whatever. But he's gone through the process of enlightenment on the other side about some of these things as well. Well, that was interesting to meet him. All right. Here we go. Cinda? Kinda or Cinda? Hello and welcome. So glad you're here with us. And the question is, will Biden's low approval rating hurt the Democrats in the midterms? Those ratings go like this. I understand the midterms is November. I don't think so.
My pendulum's doing a big no.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to hit the midterms. In fact, I feel like by the time midterms come back around, his rating will be back, up. I know, Chris. Who does those ratings?
And I'm trying to separate myself from this question as best I can, because I might be on Denise's channel for this, but where do the ratings come from? What is the origin of that? Have any of you ever been asked about any kind of rating where you live? It's just I don't know. I think a lot of that might be a little bit of crap, but I don't want to, for entertainment purposes only.
Well, they sift through or ask. I don't know. There must be something. That's a good question. That's a Google search for me.
Yeah, I don't know the origin of that. So that came up recently too, and I was like, I have no idea. But no, I'm getting no on that. But I'll throw some cards though.
I get the I mean, I'm the perfect one to answer this. I'm not really attached to it. And,
right.
So the feeling that I get in it when I kind of settle into the numbers and the actual impact of it, either way, it's kind of like, meh, like just the energy. It's a little blasé to me. Like, it's like, and not to downplay it in the least, I could be completely wrong in this, but Spirit's making me feel that it's like, it kind of doesn't, it doesn't matter here or there in the end result. It's not going to directly impact it in such a significant way, is the feeling that I get. So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. And I could be way off in that, but that's kind of what it's kind of like just moving on.
Yeah.
It's like, when it's like the shore. Yeah. So the tide's coming in and out and you're walking along the shore and you can see your footprints, but then the shore the water comes in and the marks of your feet just kind of go away. So it doesn't feel like there's a big impact, I don't know. It just,
Polls don't vote. That's right, Shay Kitty.
Polls were taken by landlines. No one has landlines anymore. And that's interesting because the few people who do still have landlines, there's somebody that lives there that's really of another generation a lot of the time. I mean, seriously.
That was a nice way to fit that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
do know that Scott has a landline.
And I had to get a landline, but that was because my mom, when I moved her in with me, she needed a life alert. You have to have a landline.
Yeah, and you have to have that landline with the life alert. Yeah.
There's that.
I love landlines. I just don't have one anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they're good to have.
I miss having my old phone and sitting there with connected with a cord
technically you have no backup if there's a power thing, a cell thing, whatever. It's good to have a landline. But anyway,
I think he's going to show that he's, all good. I have the 6 of Cups and the 8 of Wands. I think he'll be popular at the midterms.
I got the 6 of Cups too.
There you go. Yeah, I think he'll be popular at the midterms, so not to worry that that's going to affect any type of voting there. So
I got I'll just show one card I have here. I got the Temperance card on top of that, and just the look of the card, it kind of makes me feel like, you know what, regardless of the polls, it's a whole building block, know?
Yeah.
It's not a one man thing. It's or one woman thing. It's a building block. It's a structure. It's, again, with the no cut and dry thing. So whatever that poll is saying, vote anyway. Is what I'm saying. If the poll is saying Biden is going to win by landslide, I don't give a shit. Get out there, whatever, that kind of stuff. Whoever it is you're voting for on, whatever platform, wherever you live, just don't trust what that is saying, is what I'm feeling.
Yep. Good encouragement there, Lisa. I was reading through some of the questions there while you were finishing up. So get out there and vote. No matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Constance, hello. And what will Monday's January 6th hearing focus on? I can't wait 20 hours to find out. Yeah. And Smiling Heart says, vote, vote, vote. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, tomorrow morning. It starts at 8 a.m. for me here, 7 a.m. for people in California. So what will they be focusing on? I do see that we're going to getting, I feel like there's going to be some more testimony, but there's going to be some like new information in some of these, because a lot of what we heard last time, we all knew. I feel like there's something, they're going to bring a snippet of something new. They're waiting for the big guns for later, but I do feel that we're going to get something new here. I see somebody new that they are possibly bringing in, that we'll see from. You know how they showed, what's his name, talking? Barr was talking. Yeah, I feel like the bombshell is coming. Not it won't be tomorrow. The bombshell won't be tomorrow. But I feel like I feel like they're building up. They're building up something. It's a build up is what I'm feeling here. But I do feel we're going to see some from someone, not Bill Barr, but I feel like someone else significant will be shown in testimony tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Who is that? I keep seeing a picture, but I can't. This is so bad when I can't think of names.
You know, I think the hearings are, obviously the hearings are very serious, and it is about the facts in presenting a case and all that stuff. But I also see it as, and this is not, I hope I'm not going to cheapen the hearings by saying what I'm going to say. It is a visual thing. It is something on the television for us to watch. And I do think that they are looking at it also, not entertainment, but they understand that you have to have that build up, and you don't want to just throw it all out there right away. I think that they want to keep everybody's attention, and that this time around, they're not, like what Debbie said, they're not going to go into it hardcore this time. It's not the timing for that yet. I think they're still trying to set the plot, they're trying to paint the picture for all of this really well, so that it all makes sense, because that's kind of the way we all operate. We like stuff to be in a certain kind of format. It's almost like there's like a script written to make it make sense for us. Mm-hmm. I got, not through your cards on this, Debbie, I got intention, moving energy to create positive change. I think they're still laying the groundwork still, which was cool, because the first night, as you guys know, it really was them giving us an overview of what had happened, because it had been a while. So they had to reintroduce us to getting that feeling and getting triggered again and all that. So I think that was very part of the intention was to do that. And then this next time around, I feel like they are going to, because I got a letter, and this is about legal documents and evidence and stuff like that. I think they're going to kind of insert a little bit of, okay, we have a few of these things happening for us to think about. And then I got pathways and key. So here we go with, let's see, new path, decisions, options. And then with the key, I guess maybe opening the door to that other direction too. So it's going to be, they don't want to overload us with too much stuff, because there's so many participants and players in the game. So it makes it easier if they really try to make it as much of a story as they can. So this time around, I agree. I don't think it's going to be anything hardcore, but they're just going to kind of ease us in a little bit, is what I'm feeling.
Yeah. I'm sure maybe they'll show one of the kids again, one of the kids saying something. I keep getting the name Steve. I'm not sure where to place him, but someone named Steve may. Maybe testifying as well, so we might see them. But as far as the way it goes, I mean, y'all. I don't feel I don't think it's Steve Bannon yet, or will I think Steve bowed out, right? So, but I do feel Steve. I get a Steve around it, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. You know how names are. But something about defense. Maybe he worked in defense or something, or oh gosh. Sorry guys, I'm getting these little bits and pieces flying in. So, but I do feel, Lisa, what you were, that they're building it up, So
they want to do their best to not make it any more confusing than it already is. Like they've already got us in. They roped us in. We're back in the feeling of what it was when it happened. It's like Jan 6 all over again now. So we're there. So now they're just building upon that. It's like, okay, now let's start putting some characters in there.
So and I do have to just say really quick, and I'll look it up when Kevin's going. I'm going to look up who this Steve person is that works in defense. I keep getting Steve.
Oh, there is a guy.
Okay.
And I can even see him in his. He worked closely with Trump. He was the one that helped orchestrate the Jan 6 stuff too. I can see.
Okay.
He had really short hair and hang on. Was Steve his name? It wasn't Bannon though.
No, not Steve Bannon.
It might have been another Steve.
Okay, well, because I'm getting with Steve and I got the word defense. So
Miller. No. That's the wrong guy.
No.
That's the speech guy. Hang on. I don't know. Somebody in chat knows. I just know it.
I'll figure it out. Well, when Kevin's going, but I just want to say really quick that they have it solidly down. Okay, we have the Queen of Pentacles, solid, all of it. And she's bringing the Queen of Swords is bringing the 10 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. People are very stressed out. And so we just know that she's bringing it. Okay. All right, Kevin, I'm passing the time.
I pulled 4 cards. The first one was the Uncharted Sea. And Lisa, I feel like this mirrors what you were saying about the story. I feel like the story has already been written, and how it's being presented is in the Uncharted Sea. Like sometimes the perspective can be we're looking into the open ocean and not recognizing that the shore is right behind us, or vice versa. So in that, I feel it's very, very strategic in the telling. And I feel like the next card that I pulled was the Body and Soul. And as I feel into that, it's like, I feel like they're going to go into more of the emotion. So the testimony, 2 names or 2 initials came up, a J and an M. And I feel like the testimony will be more, even deeper into the heart space, like pulling on the heartstrings. So really getting into the emotion in the retelling of the experience. And so I feel in that, what's interesting, the Judgment card came up. So I feel that there will be some judgment that is presented. And I don't know, it could be from both kind of views. I see a lot more emotion in this. I feel a lot more emotion around this one. So I actually see shedding of tear. And I don't know if someone specifically that's testifying has an injury related to it, but that's what I'm being shown, and it feels like a male in that. But the feeling, the last card that I pulled is the gratitude card. So yeah, again, I just feel like it's deliberate in how it's so deliberate in how it's being presented, and a little reminder of patience in that, in the telling. It's gratitude at the end of it. So opportunity for that. Interesting.
Okay, and it could be this person. Steve Engel. He was the head of the Justice Department at the time, and it would have gone through him to release help, or I don't know, but it has to do with some kind of defense. Like, why didn't the defense come through, or whatever, help come? Anyways, his name came in. Steve was the name. And in regards to, this is the name that, in doing any type of research here, that's who's coming up. So possibly Steve Engel. Thank you, Kelly Suds.
Oh, enchanting.
Oh,
girl. Flip that hair.
So
that's awesome.
Yes, you must. Hair break.
Totally.
So possibly Steve Engel. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, honestly, I just got Steve and something to do with the defense, and it seems like this might be the Steve. So you all write that down, and then you can all let me know if I was correct or not.
That'll be fun. Cliffhanger. We'll see. I love it. You probably nailed that one.
If not tomorrow, I feel like they will be bringing in a Steve. You're like, oh my God.
Even if it's the janitor that passes through. Wearing a name tag and said Steve.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. I don't know if I can do that move.
Oh, yes, girl.
Oh.
Woo! Oh. Now we're talking. How you doing?
Oh, Smiling Heart says Smiling Heart says, you will no doubt have nailed it. He agreed to testify. See, I didn't even know this person existed before.
There you go.
Wonderful. There you go. Steve
well
England.
done.
Yep. All right. Well, there you go. Nick, I'm waiting for someone else to do something. What's next? So, Marie's asking, will the DeJoy mail sabotage come up in the J6 hearing? Hi, Maria. Will it come up in the January 6th hearing, the mail sabotage?
I feel like that's really separate somehow, but
I'm positive on this, but
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely something that someone's going to look at, but I don't know if this early in the game with the hearings they're going to whip out the DeJoy stuff.
I feel that's separate. I feel what they're really concentrating, what I'm being shown here is they're really concentrating on the failures in that day. People involved in, the tours, or, taking out the alarm system, or, all those things. I feel like they're really concentrating on the failure of that day. not things all surrounding it. So that would be I think DeJoy is separate from, will be a separate issue from that day. What are you guys getting?
I
go ahead. Instantly heard no.
Yeah, me too.
And it's not, pardon me, it's not to not like give it credit or attention. It just doesn't feel like it's in this puzzle.
Right.
It's like, okay, it's another puzzle. So maybe, I don't know, another hearing. I don't know how it works,
right.
But yeah, it just seems maybe little mention, but nothing where it's like the focus is what I get. But
yeah, right off, I felt like it was a whole separate issue. But I did throw 2 cards. I got Awakening. I think that they are aware this is something that needs to be focused on. But I got the Hermit. And I think that's the whole separation of it. I think this is an isolated thing from that. I mean, there might be a connection somewhere in there, but they want to not squirrel us, in another direction. So it is all about all the things like the failure to react.
What led up to that, that whole day thing?
What led up to that?
The attack on so I feel like that's separate.
And who dropped the ball?
Great question. And Ian says, where's Kevin Costner? The postman when you need him. Yeah. All right.
I starred a bunch of prayers for Lee.
Oh, good. So we star all the questions. So just so everybody knows, we star questions as they come in. So I see some people writing their question over again. You don't have to write your question over again. We do star them as they come in, and they go in order, and then we pull them up from that order. And so any prayer requests coming in too, those are starred and put in as well. Okay, so I see your question here, Ian. I'm not sure I want to dive into this one. Everybody's like looking at me. What's the question now? Ian's bringing in, and a lot of people are asking this question. I understand, I don't. If this was happening, I can just tell you, Ian, because this question has been asked a lot. The racist angle on this. If that happened, it would be subconscious. It's not playing a part. I'm not getting that it plays a part in acting or not acting. Where I feel the police failed here with their inaction was a complete lack of direction and training. I don't feel that it was racist motivated. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are asking that question because these are all a bunch of brown babies, and like if they were a bunch of white babies, would have they acted? And I don't feel this was. It wasn't motivated by racism. Are you guys getting anything different?
No, I'm aligned with what you just said. That's what I get.
There's complete negligence, but I don't.
It feels tragic either scenario.
Yeah.
I don't see it or feel it any different, and that both are horrible. To even think that we have to talk about it and be in that energy of it, but. Yeah, I just inadequate training and response and all of that, which doesn't even help it at all. But yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. But I'm glad it's okay. I'm glad actually that we did take a look at this now that I'm thinking about it, because a lot of people are asking this question. So we got to talk about it, and so we're all on the same page here on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And continued prayers, and that always goes on our prayer list, as well as Ukraine. And so we have all that going on the prayer list. There's so many of that. And we are at, so we're at the time where we go to the couch, actually. But what great questions all over the place today, huh, guys? We went all over the map with questions today.
Good questions.
So we're going to run over to the couch.
Mine's right behind me.
I know. Lisa,
it kind of looks like I'm sitting on it.
Yeah, both of you guys. Very fun. And so before we get to our topic, should we do the topic or the prayers first? I forget what we do. No. Prayers last?
Prayers last.
Okay. So during our topic time, if you guys have prayer requests, go ahead and throw them up. We also understand that we have a lot of people who have unspoken prayers, and that is on there. So unspoken prayers for everyone. That is a blanket one that we do for those who are watching and don't get in the chat but have prayer requests, and also those in the chat that don't want to share. That's okay. So what's the couch? So we go to the couch, and this is the time that we talk about something that can help us uplift and enlighten us in one way or another. So I'm going to hand the baton to Kevin, and he's going to start us off on this one today.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Debbie. I love it how Spirit aligns that. When I joined backstage, Debbie was mentioning this, and what I had just seen in a podcast was what the host was sharing was this analogy of the animals. And I feel like the animals are really, I feel like we're seeing them more. I feel like they're showing up like in the masses, and they come for our benefit and for our higher self. They direct us in ways that sometimes human to human, things get lost in translation, and or it just communicates in such a different way. And how the animals bring such medicine to us that in their demonstration of who they are by nature, there's teaching in that for us. They're always in that offering. And so the podcast, and this is just out of context, but this is what I was prompted in sharing with Debbie and Lisa, was that the analogy was the storm was coming. So the upset and the challenge, and just being in all of this storm and this awareness of this storm coming. And by nature, there was these two different animals in the field. One was the cow, and the cow's response or reaction, choice, way of going was to run from the storm. And so next to him on the field, or her on the field, next to them was the buffalo. And the buffalo by nature would see the storm coming, and instead of running, they would go directly to the storm. And in the end, what was observed was that the time spent in the storm, in the upset, in the challenge, the buffalo spent less time in it. So by their choice of going head on into it versus running from it, the experiences were very, very different. And so for how it just got me thinking, it was just moments before I came onto this show. And it was like, I kept thinking about ways in my life where, and I didn't share it with Debbie backstage, but I'm being prompted to share it now. I was under the age of 10, and I didn't go without as a child within the needs that my basic needs. And I decided one morning that I was going to steal $2. It was a $2 bill at the time. We no longer have $2 bills, but at the time it was a $2 bill. And I went into my dad's wallet, and my dad was always aware of I remember in his wallet, and to this day, he still does. He will line his money in sequence. And my dad always had cash in his wallet. He pays everything with cash. And so I took $2 and I was very creative. And I went outside and I came back in the house, and my mom said, "Oh, where were you?" And I said, "Oh, I was down the alley. I went for a walk, and look what I found." And she said, "Oh," she said, "that's really interesting." And she said to me, she said, "Oh," she said, "that's very interesting." She said, "Because your dad's missing $2. And I was like, "Oh." And I didn't admit it in the moment. I actually said, "Okay," like she said, "Well, what are you going to do with it?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to go to the store." And so I was allowed to walk to the store. It was at the end of our road. And I walked there, and I was just in turmoil and upset. And I knew what I should be doing was, in that moment, I should have admitted to my mom that I had took my dad's $2. Anyways, it just reminded me of that, where in that moment, we can, through the choices that we make, I created a lot more upset for myself. And sometimes like what feels easy or what feels difficult, I feel what the part of the message was in this medicine of this podcast that I heard was that as difficult as things may seem, we still are left with a choice. And we, I will often say, I try to say it as often as I can as a reminder to myself, is that we don't make a right decision and a wrong decision. We make our next best decision. So in that, the medicine that came through, when challenges or when the storm is showing up, that we're in choice. And, some ways are easier than others, but yeah, that's what was there for me.
I love how you put it, that we are in choice in that moment. And so I want to ask the family here, which one are you? Are you generally the cow who tries to run out the storm? And what happens with that cow? And I want to reiterate this. You have this cow. Here's the cow.
Oh, moo.
And here's the storm. All right. So he's going to try, the cow's going to try to run out the storm, which means he's kind of always in the storm. His ass is in the storm. Pretty much the whole time. He can't outrun that storm until finally the storm might pass him up. But when you try to outrun the storm, you're kind of always in it, right? Your ass is in that storm.
And you're always worried about the storm. It's like, am I going to outrun this?
Am I going to outrun it?
Am I going to feel when it's over? Yeah.
And Kevin gave a perfect story, and we all have stories like that. He tried to outrun that storm, but his ass was in that storm as he was going to the store, as he was trying the thing, and then he had to, the storm finally overtook him, and then however it played out. Or are you the buffalo who's like, here's the storm again, here's the buffalo, and he's like, oh no, here's the buffalo, here's the storm. And the storm's coming, he's gonna run, get into that storm, work it out, and pass through it quickly because he's running towards it and going through it. And so you can see that difference. So who are you? Are you generally the buffalo, or are you generally the cow? And I can say I'm generally the cow. I have to be honest about that. I see a storm coming, I'm going to want to turn the other way and try to outrun it. I don't want the storm. I don't like the feel of it. Especially those of us who have PTSD, we do not want to touch that storm. And empaths have a hard time facing and going through that storm because it's overwhelming. And we, if we have a choice, we want it. But I want to change. I want to change my spots. I want to be that buffalo. And now when things are coming my way, I'm going to remember this, and I'm going to try to be that buffalo, because in the long run, it's better for us empaths, better for us people who have PTSD, it's better all the way around. We think we're trying to protect ourselves. It's worse. So I'm going to try to be the buffalo from now on, but I know that I am totally the cow. How about you?
Interesting. Hey.
For me, it's pretty much case by case basis, but I had to say, I think more or less, more often than not, I think I'm the buffalo. I think but it's not so much me charging in all the time. I think let myself get enveloped with whatever it is. It's like, okay, so this is happening. What am I going to do about it? But I don't run often. I will procrastinate. I will do that. But I don't feel like, I mean, sometimes I don't mind the challenge of it. So there's that too.
Yeah.
I like the way I feel after weathering the storm.
Okay.
So that feeling that I get when I know I've done it, that is kind of my thing.
I do feel I see you as having that balance.
Don't get me wrong, I can be the cow completely.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this.
Oh no, I know. I've been with you as a cow.
Yeah. Exactly. I've been mooing left and right on occasion. But I feel so accomplished when I am the buffalo. So I like that. I like that too.
Yeah. So we have a lot of cows. We have some interesting other characters. We have a fence post and a prairie dog. They weren't in the story, guys. Very clever. Yeah. So Lisa is
Roxanne's feeling me here. Yeah. And Lisa.
Yeah. There's been times when where I don't have a choice. And where my choice is not there and I have to just face the storm. And it's been better that way. Even though you don't want it, it's been better that way. Aries, I am the storm.
Oh, yes.
I am the storm.
I am Spartacus. I love it.
Yeah. Susie, I am a buffalo. I jump in because I want to get through it as fast as I can. So that's so great. And I know I
can you be a buffalo riding on a cow? Is that possible?
Or a cow riding on the buffalo?
Well, I love that you asked that, because in my head, Spirit's making me aware of like the human aspect of who we are, and then the spiritual aspect. And perhaps if we see them as, separate or their own unique energies that collectively come together, perhaps there's that influence that, if we strip down all of the conditioning and all of the humanness in this 3D experience, what that would look like, and here's the thing, the takeaway is there's no right and wrong, we're going to have an experience either way. Right. It's the movie, what's that movie? Gwyneth Paltrow, like Sliding Doors, where it's like you're still going to have an experience either way, and there will be learning either way. So it's not to like beat yourself up or like be in this like
right or wrong here.
Pursuit of excellence.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's
so if you guys are presented with the situation, don't sit there and go, "Oh my gosh, am I the cow or the buffalo?"
Yeah, I mean, start singing "Oh MacDonald Had a Farm." And
pick your animal and go with it. Jump on it. And right.
Well, Casey says, I turn my face to the storm, but I don't run towards it. You need a third animal. Well, that being said, Smiling Heart has come up with a third animal, and it's a cowallow. And
cowallow, nice. Okay, yeah.
And there's
I'm with you on that, Smiling Heart.
Yeah. Good one.
Case by case basis on that sometimes.
So now I want to say, in situations where it's about someone else, you better believe I'm running right towards that storm.
Oh, no, that's a whole other angle.
That's another angle. So I know
I love that.
That when it's not about yourself, that's different.
I'm running in. I'm running in the fire.
Same.
So when it's about someone else, but when it's for myself, that's when I'm like,
yeah.
So
that's a brilliant point. I mean, how we'll advocate for someone else and how that will be, displayed can be so different than how we would do that for ourselves. Good point.
To my own detriment, I will do that on occasion. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's another.
there.
It's like, whoa! I just totally put myself out there, and
that's a whole nother story. Yeah. So here's our animal, cowfallow. There you go.
Beautiful.
Cowfallow.
And Susie has a life story here, a real life story. Last night we had tornado warnings. I jumped up and prepared. Hubby sat and said, "Don't worry about it." There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyways, food for thought. And I just, what I love take away from this, Kevin, is choice. We have choice.
And the next best decision
is
the best you can do. And take it from there.
So thank you for that. Thank you for our couch time with that. It's so amazing. I'm really going to utilize this.
Yeah. Thanks, Spirit. I love it.
Okay. Yeah. And Roxanne says, I'm going to think this through as well. All right. So now, before we get into the prayer, I do want to say again, thank you for hanging out with us today. And please go to the Healing Medium YouTube channel and subscribe. And also Spirit Intuitive Tarot and subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed here, please do as well. That really helps us out a lot. And of course, the like and all that.
Thank you.
We enjoy this community so much. And so that's how you can help us back is subscribing. So thank you. And Chris wants to know what a jackass would do in a situation like this.
Probably just make those sounds that they make. You know,
like Shrek. I don't know.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I don't know.
Oh, they absolutely. I literally checked into the energy. They absolutely would run from the storm. Well, they would be there and it would hit them already, and then they'd start running. So they'd be in the middle of the storm the whole time running.
And they get loud about. They're so loud. They're so noisy. What is that noise they make?
I'm not doing it.
Thank you, Vivian, for thank you, Lisa and Vivian, for putting the
thank you.
The links right there. You just click on there and subscribe. Thank you for that. So on to the prayer requests here. I feel like we had a lot come in today, which talks about the times. But first, for those of you who are keeping the list, we do link in during the week. So at any time during the week, if you feel like you need to link into this energy, it is here for you. And so those unspoken prayers are first in the middle. And how I'm visualizing this is just that the source, the light source and source, the universe source, just coming down and just plowing into the earth, and us just standing there and putting our arm right into that light, that source, that light, love, healing, the whole thing. So I visualize that. So when I'm reading these prayers, I literally visualize and I'm already placing them into the light. So let's see, where are my prayer requests? I want to make sure that I don't miss any. Okay, here we go. So we have Shay Kitty. And so I'm not going to read them all, but I'm going to put it up here. So those of you who are taking note, you can see Shay Kitty. And then we have Genealogy Junkie, and that's the Ukraine. Thank you she writes that every week. So thank you for that. And Deb Marsh as well for the continued prayer for Ukraine. We have Nora's face for her brother. And her brother's name is Benny. If you're keeping note of that. Okay, Hilda is Ukraine, Zelensky, and President Biden. Hypnicity is for Habitat. Habitat for Hypnicity. I love that. We have Poet Justice Jeff Bailey. Prayers for his dad. For Anne. For her biopsy. And Wayne, good feedback here. Suzanne had another good cancer-free checkup. Grateful. And then prayer that this continues.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Chris Barker for their daughter. Okay. She just had a baby. Okay. All right. So big prayers there as well. So let's go ahead and oh wait, is there more? Yep. All right. Greeter. For brother-in-law. Okay. COVID. Gotcha. Okay, so we're going to link in now. I've already placed them all into the light, but we'll link in together, linking arms around in it, like the whole community in here with linked arms. And so it is. Thanks, guys. Yeah, and thank you. Sending light to all of us. And remember, you can link in at any time this week, during the week, and connect right back into that place of love, light, healing, source with us. All right. Well, Kevin and Lisa, thank you for being here today, and
happy to be here.
And love.
Thank you so much. Just ending on that, it just takes me into such a different awareness and feeling. I kept hearing hope is prayer and prayer is hope. And then I could see the heart around it. And that's it. We all are in a place where hope is really necessary. We've put that on the bookshelf, you know what I mean? So finding our way back to that place of hope, we do that through the connectiveness of love and community. And so I'm so grateful that I found each and every one of you, truthfully, in this moment and before and after. So thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Lisa.
All right.
And all the chat family.
Everybody, yeah.
So looking forward to this week and seeing the family as we move forward on all our perspective lives and so forth this next upcoming week. And please reach out to either any of us. We do have websites as well if you want to reach out to us for private readings as well. So blessings to you all, and we'll see you all soon. Hugging you all.
Love you guys, all of you.